I have to say, bad title for this movie, because every time I hear it, I just keep thinking of Shakespeare. Dost thou, tennis court, please thee much? I'm a little rusty on my Shakespeare.
1, 2, 3, 4!
Even holding up this marquee right now, I'm looking at King Richard going, Shakespeare? Hey everyone, welcome to Mr. Teach Film Preach, and if you're a lover of films like I am, and you learn from films as much as I do, then I know you guys are in the right place. Click like down below and subscribe to my channel. Also, tell me, what did you guys think of King Richard? Do you think Will Smith is going to win his Oscar? This might be his year. Oh! You can also check out my playlist for the 2021 films I've reviewed this year so far. Today we're talking about the 2021 biopic film, King Richard. Directed by Reinaldo, Marcus Green, written by Zach Baylin. This is a film based on the life of Venus and Serena Williams and their father Richard, who basically self-coached, helped them become the champions that they are, that we know in this world today as some of the best tennis stars ever to set foot on the court. Them growing up, what their father was like, some of the struggles that they had to go through, living in Compton, trying to be the champions that they believed that they were, that the father knew and believed that they were, and to execute his plan to make them champions.
I wrote me a 78-page plan for their whole career before they was even born.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
A father believed in his kids so much that he actually sometimes mistreats them or isn't the greatest person to them sometimes because he's so focused on and so determined on making them champions and feeling like he needs to protect them from the world because of the past experiences he has been through. He's obviously doing some sort of formula correct, but at what cost? And that's what the film takes a really in-depth look at, and thus creates a really interesting character to see on screen. This is probably one of my favorite experiences that I've had watching a film in 2021. Laughing, crying, smiling, getting upset, and they executed it really well. They focus on character at most first before focusing on what the actual story is. And obviously myself, coming from a very different background that these characters are experiencing and where they come from, I still related to them. I've never had to experience, but watching them in this, I was just like, oh my God, we're so broken. What's wrong with our society?
Why are we so damn divided, America?
Some great things that this film is trying to say, while also not smashing us on the face with it with a hammer and knocking us over the head with it, being very preachy. They do it in very subtle ways. Character interactions and the dialogue and the relationships between father and daughter or husband and wife. I think Will Smith, this is his time. If he's not going to win the Academy Award, the Golden Globe, for this performance in King Richard, I don't think he ever will.
This next step you got to take. You're not gonna just be representing you, you're gonna be representing every little black girl on earth.
He has morphed from the Will Smith that I love, the movie star Will Smith. He becomes Richard Williams, and he does such a fantastic job. Even just watching some videos after of the real life Richard, you can see his mannerisms, his mindset, the way he talked, he presented himself, the way he moves was just spectacular. The other person in this film who impressed the hell out of me was Aunjanue Ellis. She is amazing. She should be up for Best Supporting Actress. She might even win. In my mind, she should win. There's one scene in this film that I was like, she is an incredible performer. Jon Bernthal, one of my favorites, my guy, from the first time I saw him in How I Met Your Mother as a little tiny cameo role, The Punisher, up until now. I just think he's a great performer. The way he changes his voice in this movie, Jon Bernthal's got this rough kind of talky voice, and it goes into this sort of white nerdy man tennis player voice, and I thought he did just such a great job. This coach that's frustrated with Richard because of some of the dynamics that they have and the beliefs that Richard have that overpower his training of the girls to his relationship with the girls. I just had such a great time watching him on screen.
I think you might just have the next Michael Jordan.
Oh no, brother man, I got me the next too.
The tennis scenes are really well executed and actually interesting to watch. This is the best tennis film on screen. And just the way and the determination of this character is so inspiring and uplifting, and I mean, I teared up about 3-4 different times in this film. The relationship between father and the daughters is so heartwarming. You could really relate to this movie on many different levels, even if you're not a tennis player, even if you're not someone who believes in the mindset that Richard has. If you become a parent, you still want to protect your kid. If you become a parent, you want them to be successful, and you're willing to do anything to help them do that. And I think this is just amplified in the character of Richard himself. They didn't make Richard a hero. He wasn't this amazing, wonderful father who was also the best person ever. He had a lot of issues, from his past trauma to the way he was raising his kids to the way that other people viewed the way that he's raising his kids, and the struggles that come about from that and the conflicts that arise from that. He is a flawed character, and I think that's so much more interesting and gives more of us a dynamic film.
It's a little wet for practice, don't you think? Don't the girls have schoolwork to do?
Now, I don't even mind you saying we hard on these kids. You know why? Because we are. That's our job, to keep them off these streets.
And thus, some of the brilliance in the writing of Zach Baylin and the direction of Reinaldo Marcus Green. I think this will get a Best Picture nomination at the Academy Awards, Best Screenplay, Academy Award win for Will Smith, Aunjanue Ellis as Best Supporting Actress, maybe Best Supporting Actor for John Bernthal, Best Song by Beyonce. It just gives you the feelies. It is the uplifting, emotionally inspiring, but also a gut punch film that I think I really needed in 2021. I kept thinking that this movie was going to be just one big giant build up to the end, and they win this great tennis match, and it was going to be very generic, and it didn't do that at all, and it took it in ways that were interesting. The one thing about this film that I think that they could have worked on just a bit is trimming down that runtime. Almost 2.5 hours for this film, which I don't think they needed. I think that's a little bit too much. That's a thick piece of steak to chew through. 10-15 minutes of this film that I think if they just chopped off 30 seconds here, a little bit of time here, trimmed down this scene, it just would have ran a little bit better. It would have felt overall, it just had a stronger progression. It dragged a bit, and some things were just unnecessary, or they were showing things that didn't really add much to the character or to the story, but were almost there just as like a, we just need to add in a little bit of conflict to make this a little interesting. And I didn't think like those scenes were very necessary in the film. It may be more so of a safer pick, a safer film. That's why it's getting all these rave reviews. It's got all these people who are behind it. But just because it's a crowd-pleasing film and audiences really love it as well as critics, it doesn't mean that it's a cheap movie or it's not well crafted. It's more accessible than a film like The Power of the Dog. Anyone can enjoy it. Doesn't matter what your background is or where you come from. You'll find something about this film that you love. I don't know if it's going to be a Best Picture winner, though if it does win, I wouldn't be surprised.
Who is your best friend?
You, Daddy.
Serena Williams. Who is your best friend?
Venus. Then you. Then you. After Venus.
So I'm going to go ahead and give one of my favorite films of 2021 an A. So what did you guys think of King Richard? Was this one of your favorite films of the year? Or did you just think, yeah, it was all right, kind of in a generic biopic film? Let me know with your thoughts and comments down below. I would love to hear that. And thank you so much for joining me in on that conversation. Thank you so much for joining me today on Mr. Teach Film Preach. Come back and check out some other reviews. Ghostbusters Afterlife, Dune, and also my most recent Spider-Man No Way Home. Stay focused, stay awesome, and as always, let's get taught.